Namaste children. Hi. Let us discuss fifth lesson in 8th class social studies is forest using and protecting. Today in this video we will discuss types of forest. Types of forest. Based on dense, we can classify forest into very dense forest, sparse or degraded forest. This classification helps us to understand where the forest is very dense, where the forest is sparse or degraded. Based on types of vegetation, forests can be classified into 4 types. They are evergreen forest, deciduous forest, thorny forest, littoral or seacoast forest. Littoral, the other name for littoral is seacoast forest. Littoral forest or seacoast forest or swamp forest. So based on types of vegetation, forest is classified into 4 types. Evergreen forest, deciduous forest, thorny forest, littoral and swamp forest. Why do we classify the forest based on types of vegetation? Why do we classify the forest based on types of vegetation? Different trees and plants grown in a place which have a particular climate. Different plants and trees grown in a place which have a particular climate. For an example, coniferous trees like pine grown in cold region with snowfall climate. Coniferous trees like pine grown in cold region with snowfall climate, whereas trees grown in moderate rains and warm climate. Children, so my dear children, one thing you should understand very clearly, some trees and plants grown in cold region, some plants and trees grown in hot region. Some plants and trees grown in high temperature, high rainfall climate. Some plants and trees are grown in low temperature, low rainfall climate. Some plants and trees grown in high temperature, low rainfall climate. Some plants and trees grown in low temperature, high rainfall climate. Hence, different plants and trees grown in a place which have a particular climate. We classify the forest based on types of vegetation. So, based on types of vegetation, forest is classified into 4 types. They are evergreen forest, deciduous forest, thorny forest, littoral and swamp forest. Let me discuss one by one. Evergreen forest. Evergreen forest found in the equatorial regions. Evergreen forest found in the equatorial region which get high temperature, high rainfall. Or the evergreen forest is found in the region which get high temperature and high rainfall. Which region get high temperature and high rainfall? Equatorial region gets high temperature and high rainfall. Hence, equatorial region gets high temperature, high rainfall. Evergreen forest is located in equatorial region. In India, Kerala and Andaman are located in equatorial region. In India, Kerala and Andaman are located in equatorial region. So, Kerala, Andaman gets high temperature and high rainfall climate. Thus, evergreen forest found in Kerala and Andaman. Evergreen forest is a dense. Evergreen forest is a dense forest. Consists variety of trees, plants, creepers. The trees in evergreen forest remain green in color. The trees in evergreen forest remain green in color throughout the year. The trees in evergreen forest shed the old leaves, but the new leaves grow soon. The trees in the evergreen forest shed the old leaves, but the new leaves grew soon. While one kind of a tree shed the leaves, another tree remains green. How? While one kind of a tree shed the leaves, another kind of a tree remains green. How? Evergreen forest gets warm and moist climate. Evergreen forest gets warm and moist climate. Yes, evergreen forest gets or receives warm and moist climate. While one kind of a tree shed the leaves, another tree remains green. Jamun, canes, bamboo, kadam. Jamun, cane, bamboo, kadam are the important trees grown in evergreen forest. These kind of forests are not found in Andhra Pradesh. There are different kinds of evergreen forest in the Himalayan region. These forests are called pine forest. Pine forests are green in color throughout the year. This pine forest grows in snowfall. The leaves are very thin in pine forest. The leaves are very thin in pine forest. The shape of the leaves are needle. The shape of the leaves are needle. Then the shape of the leaves are needle, which do not allow the snow to rest on them. Hence the shape of the leaves are needle, which do not allow the snow to rest on them. The trees in pine forest do not produce flower, it produces cones. The trees in pine forest do not produce flower, it produces cone. So only the trees in pine forest are called coniferous trees. Why the trees in pine forest are called coniferous trees? Why the trees in pine forest are called coniferous trees? As trees do not produce flower, the trees in pine forest produce cones. The trees in pine forest produce cones instead of flower. So, the trees in pine forest are called coniferous trees. These coniferous trees grown in heavy snowfall region. These coniferous trees are grown in heavy snowfall region. Coniferous trees found in pine forest of Himalaya region. The shape of the tree in such a way, the shape of the tree is designed in such a way like slope tile roof houses, so that the snow slipped aside and fell on the ground. The snow slipped aside and fell on the ground. Children, please look at. Let me show the pine forest from the 8th class textbook. See, children. Okay, this is called pine forest. Pine forests are green, evergreen throughout the year. It grown in snowfall region. The leaves of the pine forest are thin. The shape of the leaves in pine forest are the needle shape, which do not allow the snow to rest on them. Okay, the trees in pine forest do not produce flowers, it produces cones. So the trees in pine forest are called coniferous trees. These coniferous trees in pine forest grown in snowfall region. See the shape of the trees. See the shape of the trees in pine forest, children. The shape of the trees in pine forest is designed in such a way. The trees are like a slope tile roof house. The trees in the pine forest is shaped in such a way like slope tile roof houses, so that snow slip down and fell on the ground. The snow slip aside and fell on the ground. So now we discuss about deciduous forest. Deciduous forest grow in the region where it rains for some month and warm and dry most of the year. Deciduous forest grows in the region where it rains for some month and warm and dry most of the year. Trees shed the leaves in dry season. Trees in deciduous forest shed the leaves during dry season. Why? The trees in deciduous forest shed the leaves during dry season or in summer season. Why? To prevent the loss of water, to conserve the water. As water evaporates through the leaves, as water evaporates through the leaves, to conserve water, trees shed their leaves. New leaves comes with the onset of rains. New leaves comes with the onset of rains. There are many kinds of deciduous forests found in Andhra Pradesh. There are two kinds of deciduous forests found in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, children. There are two kinds of deciduous forests found in Andhra Pradesh. One is deciduous forest with more rainfall, deciduous forest with low rainfall. Deciduous forest with more rainfall. Let us discuss one. What are the trees that are grown in deciduous forest with more rainfall? Veggi, Agisa, Maddi. The other name for Maddi is called Arjuna. Next, Bandara, Ditagi. These forests are found in Srikakulam district, Visakhapatnam district and East Godavari district. Now let us discuss the deciduous forest with low rainfall. What are the trees grown in deciduous forest with low rainfall? Maddi. Other name for Maddi is called Arjuna, Teak, Velaga, Aegis, Eppi, Chigaru, Billu, Neem, Dirisina, Buraga and Modagu. These are the trees are grown in deciduous forest with low rainfall. Okay, this kind of forest found in YSR Kadapa and Kurnool districts. Deciduous forest with low rainfall found in YSR Kadapa and Kurnool districts. Now let us discuss Tan forest. Tan forest found in dry area. Dry area means desert area with little rainfall and high temperature. Most of the trees in the Tan forest are Tan. So only the forest name called Tan forest. Why this forest is called Thani forest? Why this forest is called Thani forest? Why? Okay, as the most of the trees in this forest are Tan, most of the trees consist Tan in this forest. So this forest is called Thani forest. The common tree grown in Tan forest is Babul. The other name for Babul is Tumma. Balusu, Rega, Sandal, Neem are the trees grown in Thani forest. In Andhra Pradesh, Thani forest found in YSR Kadapa, Chittoor, Anantapur. In Andhra Pradesh, Thani forest consists YSR Kadapa, Chittoor and Anantapur. This region experiences dry area climate. This region experiences desert conditions climate with little rainfall and high temperature. Okay, Thani forests are not dense. They are open grounded with few trees. They are open grounded with few trees. Children, let me show the trees grown in Tan forest. Children, the trees grown in Tan forest consist Thans. Why trees grow in Tan forest consist Tan? To conserve water. The Tan in these trees helps to conserve water. To conserve water, the trees in Tan forest consist Thans. This Thans helps to conserve the water. So only the trees in Tan forest consist thorns. Okay, now last forest, children, littoral. The littoral and swamp forest. The other name for littoral forest is called sea coast forest and swamp forest found in coastal area or near to the sea or in beach area or in marshy area. What is meant by marshy area? The area that consists water with muddy. The area that consists water with muddy. Such area is called marshy area. So littoral forest. The other name for littoral is called sea coast forest. Okay, littoral forest and swamp forest found near to the sea are found in coastal area or in beach area or in marshy area. The important tree grown in littoral forest and swamp forest is mangrove tree. So this forest is called mangrove tree. This forest is called mangrove forest. This mangrove tree adapt in growing salt water as tidal waves flow. As tidal waves flow. These tidal waves typically submerge the littoral forest and swamp forest for some hours in a day. Again, the tidal banks return back to the sea, the little forest, swamp forest become dry. So what is the important tree grown in little forest or swamp forest? Mangrove tree. Yes, mangrove tree is an important tree grown in little forest or swamp forest. This forest is called mangrove forest. This forest is called mangrove forest. This mangrove tree has a unique feature to survive in different environment. This mangrove tree has a unique feature to survive in different difficult environment. What unique feature mangrove tree has to survive in difficult environment? Means mangrove tree has a root above the soil. Mangrove tree has a root above the soil. Whereas other tree roots found below the soil. The roots of mangrove tree found above the soil, whereas other roots of the tree found in below the soil. This mangrove tree grown in clay soil with surrounding salt water. This mangrove tree grown in clay soil with surrounding salt water. The water below clay do not have air. The water below the clay do not have air. So only the roots of mangrove tree grow above the soil and absorbs the air directly from the atmosphere. The root that consists above the soil, the root of the tree consists above the soil. Such roots are called silt roots. Such roots are called silt roots. Such roots are called silt roots, which give extra support to the mangrove tree. This is the unique feature of mangrove tree, children. Apart from mangrove tree, uppa ponna, badu ponna, urada, mada, tella mada, kundu mada, kadili, bellu are the important trees grown in little forest or in swamp forest or in mangrove forest. These trees adapt in growing salt water as tidal waves flows in this forest. When tidal waves flows in this mangrove forest or in little or swamp forest, for some hours, this region will be flooded with salt water. Again, when tidal waves return back to sea, this region becomes dry. Children, so far we discussed about the 4 kinds of forest. Okay, this classification done based on types of vegetation. So I hope you understand this topic, children. Before seeing this video, first read the topic from the textbook, then you see this video. Then you will understand better. If not, see this video again, read the topic from the textbook again, and see these videos also again, so that you will understand very much better. If not, we will explain you in the Zoom classes. There we clarify doubts very clearly, children. Children, some of the students gave me a list of questions to answer it. Let me discuss the question one by one. Why trees in deciduous forest shed the leaves during winter, during dry month? Children, once again, why the trees in the deciduous forest shed the leaves during very dry month? Why? I'm giving answer for this question, children. As all we know, water evaporates through the leaves. As all we know, the water evaporates through leaves. To prevent the loss of water, the trees in deciduous forest shed the leaves during dry month. Next question. How the trees in deciduous forest grow as they don't get water during dry month? How the trees in deciduous forest grow as they don't get water during dry month? How? The water that is stored already in the trees of deciduous forest during rainy month is used to produce food in dry month. As a result, the trees in deciduous forest grow in dry month. Once again, children, How the trees in deciduous forest grow as they don't get water during dry month. The water that is stored already in the trees of deciduous forest during rainy month is used to produce food in dry month. As a result, the trees grown in deciduous forest in dry month. Next question, children. How trees in thorny forest grow as they don't get water during dry month? How the trees in thorny forest grow as they don't get water during dry month? The trees in thorny forest store water during rainy month. That stored water is used to produce food in dry month. As a result, the trees in thorny forest grow during dry month. Next question, children. Why the thorny trees as thorns? Why the thorny trees as thorns? To conserve water. Thorny trees as thorns. To conserve water, thorny trees as thorns. Next question. Why the piney trees are called coniferous trees? Why the piney trees called coniferous trees? Pine trees do not produce flowers. They produce cones. Hence the tree produce cones. Such trees are called coniferous tree. A pine tree produce cones instead of flowers. So pine trees is called coniferous trees. Why snow does not rest on the leaves of the pine trees? Why snow does not rest on the leaves of the pine trees? The shape of the pine leaves are needle, which do not allow the snow to rest on the pine leaves. Why littoral forest or seacoast forest and swampy forest are called mangrove forest? Mangrove tree is the important tree grown in littoral forest or seacoast forest or swampy forest. So this forest is called mangrove forest. Why mangrove tree has a unique feature to survive in this difficult environment? Why mangrove tree has unique feature to survive in difficult environment? Generally, all the roots of the tree found below the soil, whereas the root of the mangrove tree found above the soil. That is the unique feature of mangrove tree survive in the difficult environment. Why the roots of mango tree found above the soil? Why the roots of the mango tree found above the soil? Mango tree grow in clay soil. The water below the clay soil do not have air. So to absorb air directly from the atmosphere, the mangrove tree has roots above the soil. The mangrove tree has roots above the soil. Last question, children. Why the trees in seacoast forest, littoral forest, swampy forest adapt to grow in seawater, adapt to grow in salt water? Why the trees in seacoast forest, littoral forest, swampy forest adapt to grow in salt water? The seacoast forest, littoral forest and swampy forest are located near to the sea. As this forest located near to the sea, they get salt water from the sea. As tidal waves flows on littoral forest or swampy forest or seacoast forest, this tidal waves submerge the forest for some hours in a day and forms flooding with salt water. Again the tidal waves return back to sea. The forest becomes dry with flooding water. Hence this forest flooded with salt water and drying with salt water because of tidal waves flow. The trees in this forest adapt salt water for growing. For example, mangrove tree, uppaponna, bodduponna, mada, tellamada, gundumada, kadili trees. All these trees grown in littoral forest or swampy forest. Okay, these trees adapt to grow in salt water. Why? Because these trees are located near to the sea. As they get salt water from the sea, they are adapted to grow in salt water. Children, Okay, I explained all these questions which is asked by our students. I hope you understand this question, children. Children, bye bye.